Hello, welcome to my top 10 video. This is a reply to the top 10 challenge. The criteria was to only pick one game from any given system and one game from any given franchise. So if you pick a Zelda game, you can't pick another one. Or if you pick one game on the Super Nintendo, you can't pick another one. So I thought that was really cool. I'm restricting it in one more tiny way. It's not really a restriction, but when you say these are my top 10 games, do you mean in terms of all-time favorite, or most fun, or best replay value, best graphics, what? Of course I can't do my all-time favorites in this game because of the restrictions, so I decided to focus on games that are the most original, and the most fun, and also maybe a little bit underrated. Some of them are underrated anyway. But let's just get started. First of all, we have Waverace for the Nintendo 64. Now this game is very fun and very addictive. It's also very, very strange and unique and weird. It's kind of like Tetris. There's like dropping blocks there that you make dams with, and then dropping water and dropping fire and earthquakes. You have to get the fire to hit the legs to get points. It's I can't explain it. You have to go try it. It's so weird. It's so messed up. Not a lot of people like it, and I can understand why. It's not a lot of replay value. You played it a couple times, you know, but I don't know, I go back to it sometimes. It's still really fun, really unique, really underrated. I like it. Probably wouldn't be on my normal top 10 list, of course, but just wanted to show it off. And of course, on the arcade game called Marble Madness is very addictive. Very short game, only a few levels. It was remade for the NES, but I'm kind of getting it as an arcade game. This game's really fun and also really unique. You're just a marble going through a maze. I mean, how much more do you need? It's so much fun. I still find it really hard in the later levels. I still go back to it. It's a lot of fun. Really different. Awesome game. On the PlayStation 2, we have Soul Calibur 2. My favorite game of the franchise for sure. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention at the beginning. I'm also trying to pick different games in different like genres of game, like mix it up with RPGs and fighting games and racing games. Like my normal top 10 list might not even have a fighting game in it, but this is a really good game. One of my favorite fighting games of all time, Soul Calibur 2. I mean, it's a fighting game with weapons, and this is the first game to actually do that concept well, putting weapons in a fighting game, still having it balanced, still really fun. I really like it. On the Game Boy, we have Donkey Kong. Now, it's basically just a remix on a classic. You're Mario, but you're not just jumping over barrels anymore. It's a really addictive puzzle game. Many, many levels, almost 100 levels. They're all different, they're all unique, they're all so hard. There's bonuses to get. Yeah, it's basically a puzzle game. You collect items, get through the way. Now, this is a really simple level, but later on the levels will be huge. You have to hit switches and do really hard things. Really awesome. Go try it right now. Also, bonus points if you recognize where this music is from. Anyway, SEGA Genesis has a game called Chakan, next on the list. It's really, really fun. It's kind of like a normal platforming hack and slash game with a little bit of Mega Man elements because they're like elemental swords and stuff. I don't know, but it's so fun. It's not really that unique. It's really dark for a Genesis game. Like it wasn't like your normal Sonic type game. I guess Mortal Kombat is dark, but I really like it. It's really different. It's really fun. Not the best replay value, not the best gameplay. Wouldn't be on a normal top 10 list, but I think it's really cool. And for a Genesis game, I'd rather play this than Sonic for sure. This is better than most Sega Genesis games, actually. So it's why I picked it, of course. For the PC or Windows, actually this is a DOS game, I should say, but. Or is it DOS? I don't know, but it's the original Alone in the Dark game. Now this is one of the first games to render almost everything as a polygon, and also it's arguably the first survival horror game of all time. It's so cool. It's not really focused on fighting, you know, kind of have to escape the map. Kind of like Resident Evil, only not focused solely on fighting and collecting keys. Resident Evil is basically inspired by this. It's so cool. It's got some plot line, it's got some cool stuff, puzzle solving. Really fun. The graphics are a little low, it's from '93, but that's okay. And of course, Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. Now this game took the racing genre and turned it on its head. It's so unique, so much fun. The hours I spent playing this game after school, in elementary school, every day. battle mode or racing friends or by myself or just screwing around. So many hours in this game. So good. I don't really like many of the new games, the new ones. The 64 one was fun. Double Dash sucked. The Wii one sucks. The DS one's okay, but I don't know. This just, it was so unique at the time. It was brand new. It was fresh. It wasn't just fancy cars going as fast as you can. You know, it was really cool. This would probably not be on my normal top 10 list. Maybe not. Maybe not this high. And of course, getting up there into the best of the best, this is Marathon Durandal. It's the second game in the series. Oh, the platform is Macintosh. Now back in the day, of course, if a game came out on Mac, it was not on PC and vice versa, so Mac and DOS are different platforms. But this game, again, best first-person shooter of the 90s. I mean, look at this. It came out pretty much the same time as Doom, but Doom can't compete with this graphically. Look at those graphics. Awesome multiplayer modes, four-player, co-op, you know, so good. Of course, we can play awesome online games. You can play with 8 or more people online. Yeah, single player was awesome. Best plot line of any first-person shooter I've ever read. By Bungie, the same people who made Halo, only it was before that. So Halo was kind of like a sequel or like an inspired sequel to this. I just can't say enough good about this game. It's so good. The weapons are unique, the storyline's awesome, gameplay is perfect, physics are perfect. I don't know, it's just the best game of all time, almost. Best first-person shooter of all time. All 3 games are good in the series. This is number 2, which did a whole bunch of updates. Anyway, if you like first-person shooters, you have to play this game. Doom sucks, Quake sucks, this is the shit right here. They also released them for free recently, so you can download them for free on the internet. Look up Marathon by Bungie. Okay, now who recognizes this game? Come on, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you should. This is Snake, Rattle, and Roll for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This might not be my favorite game on the NES, but it's definitely one of the favorites. It's still today, one of the most unique games of all time. You have to eat these balls and sit on the scale and open the door to fight feet. It's got a really cool perspective, and it's pretty much a 3D game on the NES. How many 3D games are there in the NES? It's so good. I can't really explain this game. You just have to try it. It's so much fun. It's so addicting. It's so hard. It's good. I still suck at the game. I've been playing it for years, and I suck at it. I've never owned it. I used to rent it all the time back in the day, but yeah, I still suck at the later levels. I can't even finish them. I need to practice that, but definitely check this game out. Very, very unique. Very, very underrated. You look up underrated games on the NES, this game won't even be there. It's so good. Anyway, top of the list, we have Alundra. This game is often, blown off as, oh, it's just some crappy Zelda clone on the PlayStation 1. No, it's much more than that. Yeah, the plot line's very deep, very, very dark. It's got a lot of things that the Zelda doesn't. But even as a Zelda clone, it's very, very good. It's not the same at all. It doesn't rip off any of the same concepts, really. Well, it's kind of a bad guy that's sealed away, so... Well, my music is starting to really, really lag now. Sorry about that, but... Anyway, there's nothing I can say about this game except that if I were to make an actual top 10 list with no restrictions, this would still probably be at the top of my list. That's how good this game is. But I'm going to sign off now because my music's lagging and I've been talking for way too long. Thanks for watching. Oh, there will be runners-up in the sidebar.